She thought her struggling ex-wife would cry at her wedding, but she arrived in a yellow Porsche with triplets. The wedding invitation sat on her granite kitchen counter, silver embossed edges catching the afternoon sun. She read the handwritten note at the bottom one more time. Come see what real achievement looks like. Reserve the best seat in the house for you, front and center. Her fingers weren't shaking from hurt or humiliation, but from something completely different. Something she would soon understand. She grabbed her phone and dialed. I need your flashiest Porsche, yellow, and I need it to announce my arrival. If she wanted a spectacle, she would deliver a performance she'd remember forever. But to understand how we arrived here, we need to rewind 3 years. Back to the evening her entire existence shattered. Before we go further, smash that subscribe button, because what unfolds next will demonstrate exactly how a woman transforms from being discarded like garbage to commanding an entire wedding ceremony. You won't want to miss one moment of this. In the thriving financial district lived a woman who had clawed her way from absolute poverty. Her name is irrelevant now because history has already erased her. But 3 years ago, she was legendary. Self-made, calculating, and merciless in her pursuit of success. She constructed her fortune from nothing, developing properties, negotiating contracts, and accumulating luxury possessions like battle trophies. Her wife came from a modest suburb where aspirations were humbler and optimism was harder to maintain. Her father had worked as a librarian. Her mother managed a small bakery. She wasn't glamorous, but she was dependable. She loved her when she was still ambitious, still ascending, still relentless. She stayed awake late helping her review contracts, supported her through setbacks, and never demanded recognition. When her first investment collapsed and she considered quitting, she was the one who whispered, "Try again. Just one more time." For 3 years they created together. Then the wealth started accumulating. They relocated from a cramped apartment to a condo, then to an estate. And somewhere during that transition, something transformed. Her new social circle was different, affluent, sophisticated, influential. Their partners wore haute couture and discussed vacation properties. They posed questions with expressions that felt like evaluations. She began observing details she'd never noticed before. The way she articulated certain phrases. The modest accessories she wore. Qualities she'd once cherished about her now mortified her. It commenced with subtle remarks. "Why do you still speak like that?" she'd say, when they were among her new associates. Or, "Can't you present yourself better? People are observing us now." She would accommodate and modify. She always modified, but it was perpetually insufficient. The remarks became increasingly brutal. "Your family is humiliating. Every week someone requires something. I'm not running a charitable organization." Her sister needed tuition money. Her mother needed surgery. Normal family matters. Circumstances she'd comprehended when she had nothing. "You don't belong in my world anymore. Can't you recognize that?" Social gatherings became torture. She'd sit at their expansive dining table, surrounded by her new associates, feeling transparent. She'd discuss her investments, her developments, her strategies. Never our or we. Always I and my. The separation between them expanded from centimeters to kilometers. Even though they shared the same bedroom, she convinced herself it was temporary. That prosperity had momentarily altered her. that the woman she married still existed somewhere inside. She was mistaken. One Friday evening, she arrived home and didn't even remove her coat. She just positioned herself in the doorway and stated, "I'm finished." She glanced up from the sofa, bewildered. Finished with what? With this. With you. Her voice was cold, detached. I want a divorce. The oxygen vanished from the space. Why? She breathed. Because you're restraining me. I've evolved beyond this. I've evolved beyond you. Look at yourself. Look at me. We're incompatible now. Her chest constricted. I've supported you through everything. And I appreciate that, she said, extracting a folded document from her briefcase. But appreciation doesn't obligate me to remain trapped. You'll perpetually be that woman from the suburbs. I require someone who fits in the environments I occupy now. She placed the document on the table. Divorce documentation. Already prepared. Already executed on her side. 2 weeks, she said. Then I expect you gone. She didn't weep in her presence. She didn't plead. She simply collected the papers, proceeded into the bedroom, and began packing. She observed her depart without emotion. In her mind, she'd already progressed. She returned to her parents' home. A humble apartment that suddenly felt more secure than the mansion she'd just abandoned. Her mother embraced her while she sobbed. Her father didn't speak much, but his silence communicated everything. For the initial month, she barely existed. She replayed the marriage mentally, questioning where she failed, how she could have loved someone so entirely and still been inadequate. She migrated from the sofa to the bathroom to the sofa again. Her mother brought meals she didn't consume. Some evenings she'd view her social media updates. Her at restaurants she couldn't afford. Her with people she didn't recognize. Her smiling as if she'd never existed. Once she saw her with her, the judge's daughter. Gorgeous, refined, flawless. Everything she wasn't. The caption stated, "Finally discovered what I've been searching for." She blocked her after that. Her mother discovered her crying in the bathroom one night at 2 a.m. "Sweetheart, you can't continue doing this to yourself." What if she was correct, Mom? What if I genuinely wasn't adequate? Her mother grasped her shoulders. That woman didn't leave because you weren't adequate. She left because she'll never be adequate. For anyone, including herself. Day 34. Still in her pajamas at midday, her father came and positioned himself beside her. "You're more resilient than this," he said quietly. I raised a warrior. I don't feel resilient, Dad. Resilience isn't about how you feel. It's about what you accomplish when you feel vulnerable. He squeezed her hand. You survived challenges and heartache before. You'll survive her too. That evening, her mother added, "She doesn't get to demolish you. You determine when this concludes. You determine who you become next." Day 35. She woke early. Something had shifted. She examined the mirror at the woman staring back. Shattered, yes, but not deceased. Still breathing. Still present. Her phone rang. Unknown caller. "Hello? Is this actually you, or did I contact a ghost?" She sat upright. That voice. "Jennifer?" The one and only. "I discovered what happened, and I'm not calling to offer you sympathy. I'm calling to offer you an opportunity." Jennifer, her college friend. They'd disconnected after graduation. "I operate a shipping and distribution company," Jennifer continued. "I need someone I can trust to supervise the new regional headquarters. You're intelligent. You're methodical. And you're tougher than you realize. Jennifer, I've never worked in distribution. You survived her. You can survive anything. When do you begin?" I I don't know if I'm capable. Yes, you are. And you will. Monday, 9:08 a.m. Monday arrived. The facility was in an industrial zone. Concrete structures, loading platforms, vehicles everywhere. Jennifer met her at the entrance. You came, Jennifer said, grinning. I came. That initial week was pandemonium. Learning routes, supervising drivers, negotiating with customers. But something inside her awakened. She was proficient at this, superior to proficient. By the second week, she was managing difficult customers with confidence. By the 6th week, Jennifer was receiving calls from customers specifically requesting her. Our customer retention increased 18% since you started, Jennifer said one afternoon. She didn't know what to respond. She'd just been performing her responsibilities, but apparently she was exceptional at it. 6 months in, Jennifer promoted her to operations director with a 25% raise. She went home that evening and wept. Not from sadness, but from relief, from pride, from recognizing she was more than what she'd said she was. But even with achievement, she knew she desired more. 1 year into the position, she entered Jennifer's office. I want to establish my own company. Jennifer smiled. I was wondering when you'd express that. She registered the business on a Wednesday. Hope Transport. The name felt appropriate. Hope for the second opportunity she didn't think she deserved. She purchased 2 used vehicles with her savings, hired 1 driver, operated from a rented warehouse. Her first contract was modest, but she delivered flawlessly. The customer called the following day. When can you begin regular deliveries? Information spread. Dependable, professional, reasonable. 6 months later, she purchased a 3rd vehicle, then a 5th, then a 10th. Year 2, she leased a proper facility. Her father came to observe it and couldn't stop beaming. My daughter, the business proprietor. Year 3, she had 30 vehicles and 40 employees. She'd constructed something genuine, something hers. And somewhere in that journey, at a business summit, she met someone. She'd been hurrying, tea in hand, not observing where she was proceeding. She collided with a woman, spilling tea all over her navy blazer. I am so sorry, she laughed, a genuine laugh. That's one method to make an impression. I'm Dr. Melissa. They conversed for 2 hours. When she asked if she could see her again, she hesitated. I'm not certain I'm prepared. Then I'll wait until you are, she said simply. And she did. For months they were friends. She never pressured. When she finally told her about her ex-wife, she listened. Then she said something that changed everything. I care about the woman standing before me right now, and she's incredible. They married quietly, 9 months later. 1 year after that, she gave birth to triplets through IVF. 2 girls and a boy. When the nurses placed them all in her arms, she wept. Not from pain, but from overwhelming gratitude. She named them Hope, Faith, and Joy. Life had discovered its rhythm. Every morning, Melissa would bring her tea in bed. They'd spend 20 minutes conversing before the triplets woke and chaos commenced. Her business was flourishing. Hope Transport now had 50 vehicles and 60 employees. She'd recently been featured in a business publication. From heartbreak to CEO, how one woman built an empire. Her parents now lived in a comfortable house she'd purchased them. Nothing extravagant, but spacious, with a yard her mother adored. This particular Wednesday afternoon, the doorbell rang. A courier stood there with a tablet. Certified delivery for Mrs. Hope Mitchell. I need a signature. She signed, confused. The envelope was expensive. Heavy cardstock, silver trim. She opened it at her kitchen counter, extracting an invitation. Ms. Patricia Henderson and Miss Olivia Blackwell request the honor of your presence at their wedding. Patricia, her ex-wife. Then she saw the handwritten note at the bottom. Come see what real achievement looks like. Reserve the best seat in the house for you. Front and center. Would love to see how you're managing these days. The audacity. The absolute audacity. Melissa discovered her 20 minutes later, still examining it. What's wrong? She handed her the invitation. Her jaw tightened. She invited you to her wedding? With a personal note about how I should come observe genuine achievement. Does she know what you've constructed? Does she know what you've become? No. To her, I'm still the woman she discarded. Poor, pathetic. Probably still residing with my parents. Then let's disregard this. She looked at her wife. What if I want to deliver her the truth? She invited me thinking I'd appear broken, or not appear at all. Either way, she succeeds. But what if I rewrite the narrative? Are you certain? You don't have to prove anything to her. You're correct. I don't have to prove anything to her, but I need to prove something to myself. For 3 years, I've constructed a new existence. But part of me is still that woman crying on her parents' sofa. I need to close that chapter completely. Then we'll close it together. No, I need to accomplish this alone. Well, not alone. She looked toward where the triplets were napping. I'll have them with me. Melissa was quiet. You're going to appear with our children. I'm going to appear as living proof that discarding me was her biggest mistake. The following morning she started planning. First call. The luxury vehicle rental service. I need to rent your finest car for this Saturday. We have a Porsche 911 Turbo S Yellow. It's $800 for the day. Perfect. Reserve it. Second call, her stylist. Marcus, I need to look like wealth itself. What's the occasion? My ex-wife's wedding. Long pause. Say no more. Come by tomorrow. They tried on 15 dresses before discovering it. Emerald green, shimmering. Elegant but commanding. That's the one, Marcus whispered. You look like you own the universe. They discovered matching outfits for the triplets too. Cream suits for all three. Tiny bow ties. Meanwhile, Patricia was in final wedding preparations. Her fiancée, Olivia, was everything she thought she desired. Beautiful. Connected. Her father was a federal judge, but something felt empty. Her friend Daniel noticed during the celebration. You okay? You seem distracted. I'm fine. I still don't comprehend why you invited your ex-wife. Patricia swirled her drink. I want her to see what she lost. Content people don't need to prove they're content, Daniel said. They just are. Patricia didn't respond. The truth she wouldn't admit was that part of her wondered if she'd moved on, wondered if discarding her had been a mistake. But no, she was probably still struggling. This wedding would prove she'd been correct. Saturday morning arrived. Hope woke early. Melissa observed her prepare. You nervous? Surprisingly, no. She showered, applied her makeup carefully. The dress fit perfectly. She dressed the triplets next. Joy giggled as she adjusted his bow tie. You all look perfect, she told them. Melissa took photographs. You certain about this? I've never been more certain of anything. The Porsche arrived at 12:45 p.m. The driver's eyes widened when he saw her. Mrs. Mitchell, that's me. I have to say, in 6 years of doing this profession, I've never seen someone rent this vehicle for a wedding that's not their own. She smiled. It's my ex-wife's wedding. The driver grinned. This is going to be fascinating. They loaded the triplets into special car seats. As they drove, she felt remarkably composed. This wasn't about vengeance. It was about closure. Her phone buzzed. Melissa, go show them who you are. I love you. She smiled and typed back. I love you too. The venue came into view, massive, ornate. Expensive vehicles lined the boulevard, but nothing like what she was arriving in. Ready, Mom? The driver asked. Ready. He drove slowly to the entrance. The engine roared loud enough to rotate heads, and Hope took a deep breath. Inside the venue, the scene was exactly what you'd expect from a wedding that cost more than a luxury apartment. Crystal chandeliers, white orchids everywhere, a chamber orchestra. The guest list was society's elite. Attorneys, business executives, socialites. Patricia stood at the altar in a custom ivory tuxedo, checking her watch. The ceremony was supposed to commence at 1 p.m. It was now 1:02. Her eyes kept drifting to the front row, to the seat marked reserved, her ex-wife's seat. Part of her hoped she wouldn't come. Part of her hoped she would. She wanted her to see this. See what she'd become. See what she'd lost. The clock hit 1:03. That's when they heard it. A roar, deep, powerful, unmistakable. A high-performance engine. The orchestra music faltered. Heads rotated. Whispers started. What is that? Patricia felt her stomach drop. She knew somehow before anyone else. Outside, the yellow Porsche pulled up directly in front of the venue entrance. The valet rushed over, then stopped when he saw the car. You don't argue with a $200,000 automobile. The driver got out, walking around to the passenger side. The venue doors were open. People inside could see everything. The passenger door opened. An emerald heel emerged first, then a leg, then the whole woman. She stood slowly, deliberately. Hope, but not the Hope Patricia remembered. The emerald dress caught every ray of sunlight. Sapphire earrings caught the light. Everything about her screamed achievement, confidence, authority. The collective gasp from guests on the steps was audible inside. Then the back doors opened, and the triplets emerged. Joy first, looking around with wide eyes. Then Faith, who waved enthusiastically. Then little Hope, adjusting her tiny bow tie. Mama, why everyone's staring? Joy asked clearly. Because we look beautiful, baby, she replied calmly, taking their hands. She started walking toward the entrance, not hurrying, not hesitating, just walking like she owned the ground beneath her feet. The whispers exploded. Is that her ex-wife? I thought she was struggling. Look at that car. She has children. Triplets. Phones came out. Videos started recording. Inside, Patricia heard the commotion and turned. The crowd parted, and she saw her. All the oxygen left her lungs. Daniel saw her face. Oh no. Hope walked down the side aisle, every head rotating. The orchestra stopped playing. Even the officiant was staring. She walked with absolute composure, triplets on each side. Her eyes found Patricia's across the venue. She didn't smile, didn't smirk, just looked at her with perfect calm. She reached the front row, the reserved seat. She looked at the card, picked it up, and handed it to an usher. I believe this is for me, she said clearly. Then she sat down gracefully, settling all three triplets beside her. Joy immediately started swinging his legs. Faith tried to grab flowers from the pew in front. No, sweetie, Hope whispered. Those aren't ours. The venue was completely silent. 300 guests holding their breath. Patricia gripped the altar rail, knuckles white. Daniel touched her arm. Hey, you need to breathe. What is she doing here? You invited her, remember? Not like this. Not with... She couldn't finish. The triplets. She had triplets, which meant she'd moved on, met someone else, got married, had children. All the things she was supposed to do with her. And judging by the car, the clothes, the way she carried herself, she'd thrived. In the preparation room, Olivia was getting impatient. Why haven't we started? Her maid of honor peeked out, eyes wide. Her ex-wife just showed up, in a Porsche, with triplets. What? She's sitting in the front row right now. Olivia pushed past and looked through the window. She saw Hope immediately. Impossible to miss in that emerald dress. Who is she? She told me she was nobody, that she came from nothing. Well, she doesn't look like nobody now. How dare she, Olivia hissed. This is my day. She needs to leave, now. She invited her. I don't care. Back in the venue, Patricia was having a whispered emergency with Daniel. What do I do? What can you do? She's a guest. I didn't invite her to come looking like that. The officiant cleared his throat. Should we begin? Give me a minute, Patricia said. She couldn't take her eyes off Hope. She was helping Joy with his bow tie, smiling with such genuine warmth. Faith was whispering to her mother. She was a mother. A good one. And she'd arrived in a Porsche. That's when Olivia made her entrance. Not the planned graceful walk. A furious storm up the aisle, veil askew, bridesmaids rushing after her. Olivia, wait! She ignored them, marching to Patricia. Who is that woman? Olivia. Not now. Who is she? The venue was dead silent. Patricia swallowed. That's Hope, my ex-wife. Your ex-wife, the one you said was nobody, the one you said came from nothing. Hope, still seated, kept her eyes on her children. But a small smile played at her lips. She's changed, Patricia said weakly. Changed? She's sitting there in designer clothes with triplets and a car worth more than yours. Olivia was losing it. You told me she was nothing. It was... Then why does she look happier than I feel right now? That stopped Patricia cold. Olivia turned to face Hope directly. Who are you? Really? Hope stood up slowly. She handed Joy to a nearby guest, picked up little Hope, kept Faith by her side, and walked forward. I'm Hope, she said, her voice calm and clear. I was married to Patricia for 8 years. She divorced me 3 years ago, told me I was holding her back, that I didn't fit in her world, that I'd always just be a woman from a modest suburb. The guests were transfixed. And you know what? She was right about one thing. I didn't fit in her world because her world was built on appearances, on status and image. My world is built on something different now. She looked at her daughter. I built a transportation company from nothing. Hope Transport. Maybe some of you have heard of it. A woman in the third row nodded. We use your company. Best service in the region. Hope smiled. Thank you. I built it with 2 trucks and a dream. Now I have 50 trucks and contracts across 4 regions. I did that. Me, the woman from the modest suburb. Patricia felt the floor dissolving. And these beautiful babies, my wife and I, yes, I remarried to a wonderful woman who sees my worth. We have triplets. Joy, Faith, and Hope. 20 months old, healthy, happy, and loved. She looked directly at Patricia. So when I got your invitation with that note about how I should come see what real achievement looks like, I thought, why not? Achievement isn't the estate or the car or the society wedding. It's peace. It's building something genuine. It's being valued for who you are. The silence was deafening. But here's the thing. I didn't come here to ruin your wedding. I came to close the chapter. To remind myself that the woman you discarded is not the woman standing here today. You didn't break me. You freed me. And for that, honestly, I'm grateful. She turned to Olivia. I hope she treats you better than she treated me. I hope you never have to feel small to make her feel big. Then back to the guests. I'm going to leave now. I've said what I came to say. To everyone here, I wish you well. She collected Joy, took all 3 triplets by the hand, and started walking out. Faith waved. Bye-bye. She reached the doors, paused, and turned back. Oh, and Patricia, the company your associates use for transportation, that's mine. So in a way, I've been in your world this whole time. You just didn't notice. And she walked out. The Porsche engine roared. Guests rushed to windows. The yellow car disappeared into the afternoon sun. Inside, chaos erupted. Whispers became conversations. Phones were out. Videos being shared. Olivia stood frozen. She looked at Patricia and saw something she'd missed. Regret. Deep, aching regret. Did you love her? Patricia couldn't answer. Did you ever love me? Still no answer. You know what? Olivia pulled off her veil. I don't need to marry someone clearly still in love with someone else. She dropped her bouquet. Find yourself, Patricia, but not with me. She walked out, bridesmaids following. Daniel put a hand on Patricia's shoulder. Well, that went well. Patricia stood alone, her custom suit too tight. The venue empty even with 300 people there. Her phone buzzed. A text. Dude, the videos everywhere. Wedding fail is trending. She opened Twitter. Videos from every angle. Hope's speech shared thousands of times. Comments. That's a woman who knows her worth. She fumbled badly. The best revenge is becoming who you were meant to be. Her phone rang. Her mother. Patricia. That woman was the best thing that ever happened to you. Mom, I told you not to divorce her, but you wanted someone flashy, and look where it got you. Her father added, you broke her heart and she turned it into fuel. That's character, and you threw it away. They drove off, leaving her in the parking lot of her cancelled wedding. 6 months later, Hope sat at her dining table, home filled with family chaos. Joy arguing with his sisters. Melissa making dinner, singing badly. Her parents visiting, her mother helping set the table. Her phone buzzed with a notification. Former real estate executive faces financial troubles following investment scandal. Patricia's photo. Details about questionable deals. Investors pulling out. Empire crumbling. Melissa saw over her shoulder. You okay? She closed her phone. Yeah, I'm good. You don't feel bad, even a little? I feel bad for the woman she could have been, but the woman she chose to be. She made her choices. And you made yours. And I made mine. Dinner was chaotic and perfect. Food passed around. Stories told. Joy spilled juice. Faith fell asleep mid-meal. Her father told old jokes. Her mother reminded her to eat vegetables. After her parents left and triplets were asleep, Hope and Melissa sat on their porch watching stars. Do you ever think about the wedding? Melissa asked. Sometimes, but not with regret. More with gratitude for the closure. For proving to myself I wasn't defined by what she said. For realizing I wasn't nervous or scared. I was just free. Melissa squeezed her hand. You know what the best part was? Coming home. You kicked off those heels, scooped up the triplets, and we ordered pizza and watched cartoons. That's achievement. Not the Porsche or the dress. Just home. Hope leaned on her shoulder. Yeah, that's achievement. Her phone buzzed. Jennifer. Another major client signed. You're unstoppable, boss. She smiled and put it away. She'd gone to that wedding not to destroy anything, but to close a chapter, to prove she'd survived, to walk through a door she'd been pushed through and come out whole. She thought her struggling ex-wife would cry at her wedding, but she arrived in a yellow Porsche with triplets, and she won because she stopped caring whether she won at all. If this story touched you, hit subscribe. Next time, a sister-in-law tries to evict her pregnant sister-in-law, not knowing the sister-in-law owns the property. Karma came with documentation. Don't miss it.